Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Here's day one of my family trip to Florida we did a few weeks back. So sorry it's so late, I just took forever to edit all the footage. So we had quite the drive ahead of us. Since we live kind of far, it took us about 13 hours to get to Orlando. And because I get really car sick, I tried to sleep most of the time. And actually the night before, I stayed up as late as I could so that I would sleep more. We left around 4 a.m., but I didn't start filming until the sun came up. Whoops. We got to our resort around 6 p.m., and this time we stayed at the Animal Kingdom Lodge in Kidani Village. My sister and I did go in ahead of the rest of the family because I had to pee so bad. Sorry if that's TMI. The view from the balcony was so gorgeous. It was definitely the first thing that caught my eye, but the suite itself was amazing too. It had 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, a living room, and 3 bathrooms, which was great for a family of 6. Also, sorry for how shaky the footage is in this vlog. I didn't realize how unstable my hands were until I got back home.
Hi, Dad.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Audrina. I'm 15 years old, and I'm at Disneyworld.
After we got settled in, we wanted to check out one of the food service places in the resort, so we went out in the night. And this is when we realized that we would in fact be walking like a million miles a day because of the sheer size of the resort. It literally took us 20 minutes to get to the other side of the resort where the food was, so it's like a 40-minute round trip to get there and back to our room. So we definitely got our steps in, that's for sure. Here are some clips of inside the place. I ended up ordering a ricotta cheese pizza, which was fire. I'm actually still dreaming about this weeks later. And for our drinks, we got one of their refillable mugs, and I got vitamin water. This is me after getting ready for bed, and for some reason I thought it would be really cool to fall down. Anyways, it's day 2 now, and we saw ostriches this morning. It was like 8 a.m. here or something. My lens actually got really fogged up when we went outside too, so sorry about that. For breakfast, I made myself some oatmeal, which was delicious, and then chilled on the balcony again and saw some giraffes. After that, we headed to the bus stop to go to Disney Springs. Low-key, the bus took a while, but it wasn't too bad. Our first stop was Uniqlo, since we don't have one in our hometown, so we wanted to check it out. It was so cool inside, and I was so obsessed with the layout and the style of clothing. I definitely want to go back. I actually ended up getting a pair of black exercise shorts, which you will see because I ended up wearing them to Magic Kingdom later. Next up, we went to Gideon's to get some cookies. My mom's a big fan of their theming, so she also got a tin and a cup. I ended up getting the chocolate cookie, and my sister got cookies and cream, so we decided to cut them in half to share. Afterwards, we had a lunch reservation at Morimoto's, which we tried for the first time last time we were in Disney a few years ago, and we really liked it, so we decided to go again this time. I ended up getting kanikama sushi. After lunch, we headed to the Disney store to take a look around, and then we went to the Lego store where my younger brother got a set. Then we waited for the bus and went back to our resort. Once we got to our room, I decided to try the Pride Month cake that we actually bought the night before. It was really good and had marshmallow frosting, and I love marshmallows. Afterwards, we went to the pool on our side of the resort, which was really nice. Then we watched the live-action Snow White for the first time while we ate dinner. On day 3, I started out my day on the balcony again, and I saw some zebras. Then we went to the pool, but on the other side of the resort this time, which was slightly bigger than the last one. Afterwards, we got our mugs refilled and got Mickey ice cream on our way back to our room. Then I ate mine on the balcony with my sister while watching the animals again. We got ready for the Stray Kids concert that evening while listening to Tate McRae and Cat's Eye. And on the way to the concert, we blasted Stray Kids to get hyped up. It took us a bit to get parked since the place was so packed with stays. It definitely was the biggest concert I've been to since I haven't actually been to a stadium tour before. They played their music before the show, and it was so fun to see all the stays dancing and singing along. Now I'm gonna share some clips of the concert that I got on my camera. I'd never been to a K-pop concert before, so it was such a fun experience. I loved the light sticks and how interactive the crowd was. Also, the fireworks and effects were so amazing. I'm literally still in awe. And I forgot to get any clips after the concert. Oops. But anyways, for day 4, we went to Epcot and of course got on Spaceship Earth right away, since it's one of our favorite rides. This time I noticed that the park changed quite a bit since the last time we were there in 2021. I almost did not recognize the entrance. We visited the Moana area, which was really neat with all the water displays and was great for how hot it was that day. Then we went to ride Figment, which is one of my favorite rides as a kid. I actually used to have a backpack of him and everything. Afterwards, we discovered the Vacation Club member lounge in the store, which we had never been to before. The view was so nice, and the complimentary drinks and snacks were a great bonus. We stayed there for a bit to rest and get out of the heat, and then we saw that Soarin' had a pretty short wait time, so we ran over there right away. While we were in line, my older brother and my mom joined the little trivia game that they displayed on the screens. And after the ride, we went back to Spaceship Earth because we had a fast pass for it. I was excited to go back on it since I've always loved that ride. Then we ended up back on Figment because my sister's friend who recently moved to Florida happened to be in Disneyworld too. So we met up with them and they wanted to ride Figment. Then we rode Soarin' again with them as well. So yes, we just rode the same 3 rides for the first few hours we were there. When we got off, we saw that Guardians only had like a 30-minute wait, so we booked it there as quickly as possible. Then my sister's friend had to leave, so we walked them to the skyline through the World Showcase. Then we headed to the bakery in Paris, and I got a chocolate croissant, which was delicious. We waited a few minutes in Paris until our fast pass time for Ratatouille. It was our first time riding it since it was built, and I was not disappointed. It was so much fun, and I loved how immersive it was, and how cute the queue was. We headed to Japan and went to the shop there since it's always been our favorite one. We stopped by the museum and my sister and I got our names written in Japanese and got to practice speaking to native speakers, which was really fun. Unfortunately, we were running out of time, so we had to speed run the World Showcase so that we could still ride Frozen and Guardians again. And as per usual, Frozen had a fairly long wait. Before we went to Guardians, we stopped by the store and saw these cute headbands that you could make. We also dropped into the Coca-Cola shop and had to drink our favorite drink, Beverly, that we have every single time. I didn't get any clips because it was a really hectic time since we rushed to Guardians and waited for like an hour and then had to run, literally, to ride Nemo with only like 15 minutes until our dinner reservation. But we just had to get on it because it's a staple of our trips for sure. After we ran, again, literally, back for our reservation at Space 220. It was a really cool experience, and I will show you how we got to the restaurant.
You'll be on your way up to Space 220 aboard the Centauri space station. Enjoy the ride.
SV2, you are clear to launch. Initiating in 3,
space themed as expected and consisted of an appetizer, entree, and dessert, all of which were delicious. The calamari so much so that I forgot to film it and just ate it. Then I got miso salmon and a cheesecake. They also gave us some cool cards before we left too. Once we were done, the park was already closed, so we headed straight for the buses, and it was almost 10 p.m. I always think Epcot is so beautiful at night, so I just had to get some footage of the Epcot ball before we left. I also wanted to show you guys the merch I got at Stray Kids since I forgot to the night before. On day 5, we went to Magic Kingdom, and I started off my day with the animals yet again. We got to the park around 10 a.m. and headed straight for Space Mountain since the wait time was only like 20 minutes. Afterwards, we got on People Mover, which was so nice since it was actually down for maintenance last time we were here, so it's been a good 6-ish years since we got to ride it. It's also one of my favorite rides. We also rode Buzz Lightyear and Carousel of Progress while we were in Tomorrowland. We then went on Little Mermaid, but I forgot to film. Whoops. After that, it was time for It's a Small World, which I'm a huge fan of. It's definitely my all-time favorite ride since childhood. I think it's the cutest thing ever, and I love all the little characters so much. I even got a few of the dolls for them from the Animators collection back in the day. Next, we rode Tron for the first time, and it was so cool. The theming for the inside queue was amazing, but when you're waiting on the outside was not so much fun out in the heat. We had to wait for about an hour to get on. Next, we went to ride Pirates, which was another favorite. The only thing is that I have some irrational fear of murky waters, and that ride really sets me off, but we make do. Then we stopped and ate at Cosmic Rays, which was one we loved as kids. We are big fans of his song, Space Angels. After lunch, we rode the Haunted Mansion and Jungle Cruise. I actually hadn't been on Haunted Mansion since they added the Hatbox Ghost, so it was really cool to see it in person this time. Next, we rode the Snow White minecarts, but it did break down while we were in line, and since we were so close and they said it would open back up, we stayed in line and eventually got on. Then, before the park closed, we rushed to get back on Space Mountain and then Tron to experience it at night because of the lights. It was definitely worth the view. To close out our evening, we got back on People Mover for the last 15 minutes of the park being open. We thought it would be a nice way to calm down after all the roller coasters, and that it was fun because it visited all the rides we did earlier that day. Then it was time to go back to our resort. Just like Epcot, the park is still so beautiful at night, and of course I got some footage of the castle. On day 6, we were officially leaving Disney, sadly. We got some more Mickey ice cream and I ate it on the balcony before we left. We then drove about 2 hours to Jacksonville to see the Glass Animals concert there that evening. The show was absolutely amazing and the visuals were stunning. I also got a tour shirt while we were there. Then, the next morning, it was time to go home. Or so we thought. Unfortunately, it was going to storm very badly where we would be driving through and exactly when we would get there, so we had to stop again and wait it out. We went to our third hotel and stayed there that night, played some board games, and got Zaxby's and ate ice cream. Then we left early the next morning with about 4 hours left in our drive. Hey guys, I'm about to go to work right now, but I just wanted to film a little outro for you guys. I just forgot my camera, so this is filmed on my phone. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next week.